Today's guest is someone who's redefining what it means to be a dad, with a mic in one hand and a diaper in the other. You might have seen him cracking jokes on IE and Friends, but now he's on a new mission, getting real about fatherhood. As the creator and host of Baby Daddy Poddy, Cesar Sotelo brings raw honesty and laughs and straight-up truths to a space where new parents often feel overwhelmed and alone. So whether you're a parent, a future parent, or someone who just likes hearing how other people are surviving toddler meltdowns, this conversation is for you. Let's dive in. Before we start, can I ask you for a quick favor? It actually blows my mind that most of you listening or watching haven't even subscribed yet. 95% of you. If you like what I do and you want to support the show, the easiest thing you can do is hit that subscribe button. That's it. That's all I'm asking. And if you do, I commit to keep bringing you even better content every single week. Más chingón, más útil y con todo el corazón. So, let's grow this together. Y continuamos aquí en Echale Podcast. El día de hoy estoy muy emocionado de poder tener a un grande de del mundo del espacio de podcast, porque ya tiene aquí varios años en esta industria y por fin se dignó a venir hasta los estudios de Burbank, a los estudios de Echale Podcast, sus estudios con ustedes. Él estaba antes en el podcast que lo pueden encontrar ahí en Friends. Ahorita tiene su Baby Daddy Poddy con ustedes, Cesar Sotelo. What's good? What's up, brother?
Nothing much, man. Thank you for having me. I don't know, Spanish, English, lo que sea.
Lo que sea. Estoy más acostumbrado al español, but you know what? We can transition into English and Spanish. Okay. It's not that often that I get guests that can speak both languages perfectly.
Okay. So, it's not today either. I just up on both.
Okay, well, it's fine. But tell me about it. Like, Baby Daddy Poddy. I was literally telling you before we started recording, you stole my idea.
It's a great idea.
I just needed to have a kid, though.
I was slip up.
That's literally what I needed to happen. I literally had envisioned years ago with my friends. I was like, once we all become dads, like we're gonna have a podcast called the Zaddy Poddy.
The Zaddy Poddy?
Yeah, or Zaddy Podcast. You know, like damn Zaddy. Like back in the day when Zaddy was actually was the thing. Like age us to a certain extent. But then this came out, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Baby Daddy Poddy. Yeah, it was an idea I had for like over a year. Like right after my son was born, I just started thinking like content. I was like, what can I do with him? And I was like, Baby Daddy Poddy. And it just has like a really nice ring to me.
Yeah, it really does.
Like Baby Daddy Poddy. And people are still confused about what it's about. I'm not bringing in baby daddies and baby mama drama. Like it's not that. It's actually like a really good place where people learn and teach other parents and stuff like that.
So, I find that very admirable because obviously IE and Friends is a huge success and it's a huge hit, and it has to do with the chemistry that you three brought to the table and obviously like the pendejadas that you guys would say.
Yeah.
But this is totally different. You want this to be more serious. You want to be educational, or do you still want some pendejada involved?
Pendejadas just a little bit because it's still a little bit of my personality, but it's definitely a lot more educational. It's a lot more... you have to be a little bit more serious sometimes because you do touch kind of such touchy subjects. You can't make fun of someone's kid or things like that. That's kind of, you can't do that. But
were you the type of person that would say like, damn, that baby's ugly? And are you still?
Yeah, even with more right now because my baby's beautiful. So yeah, but no, it's a more serious tone because like some conversations can get really, really serious. You can talk about things like miscarriages. You can talk about how hard it is to be a mom, where you can talk about like mental health for parents and stuff like that, where you have to get a little bit more serious. But then you also are like parents are growing, like you're still learning with your kid.
Yeah.
So you do know the pendejadas that you do and the things that the kids do, and like those están haciendo sus cosas. So it's like it's just a fun dynamic, but it's definitely a lot more serious, and there's a little bit more of a serious tone.
Yeah, well, let's take it back to little Cesar, his childhood, because obviously here in Echale Podcast, I like to kind of take us through a journey of somebody's life and how they echarle ganas a la vida to get to the point that they are. So paint a picture. How was little Cesar when he was a child?
Oh, little Cesar, he was always a person that liked to talk to people. Like stranger danger didn't exist to me. I would talk to anyone and like make friends anywhere.
Your mom must have been pissed.
They're the ones that kind of taught me that. Cause it was a young age. Like my parents would like sell like manzanas and like bolis and stuff like outside of the school by the park and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
And so I was the only one that spoke English, and I was gonna be like 6, 7. So I'd be talking to people and like pricing and stuff like that. So I've always been in like selling and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I see you, and I mean, ever since I saw you on IE and Friends, and when I met you, we've gone running a couple times. I'm like, this guy is bold, charismatic, has so much energy. So you've been like that since you were a child.
Yeah.
talk to me about that. One. Obviously, I've met your mom. It was so funny because she came up to me at an event where we were hosting with Angelica, and she's like, "Oye, soy la mamá de Cesar," and I was just like, I don't have that many friends that are named Cesar, so I only thought of another one, and I'm like, that's not. But okay, it's probably just
weird coincidence.
It's a weird coincidence. And then you messaged me, "Hey, my mom had so much fun," and I was like, "Oh shit, that was your mom."
Wrong, Cesar.
Yeah. But I've seen you post your mom. How was your relationship growing up with your dad now that you're having a whole Baby Daddy Poddy podcast?
Like my relationship with my dad now? Before. It's a little bit different now because they divorced and everything. So then things got like we got a little bit separated within the past couple of years. But before that, like my dad was always fun, and he was always like that dad that just like, he was my friend's friend. Like my dad was known as like my friend's friend. So he would take us out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was fun. And then my mom too, she's always been a fun person. So I kind of kept that with me, and like then the boldness and all that also came from both of them. It's something that they kind of instilled in me.
Did you know? I mean, obviously, I think when you're young, you have a sense of like entertaining and like you want to entertain people. And obviously, I've seen you and Saul do skits because you've known each other for so many years. Did you know you wanted to end up in entertainment?
I think I did.
Okay.
I think I always kind of thought about like, I was like, I have to be behind the like, I don't want to be behind the screen. I want to be like the person in front of the screen, like, you know, entertaining people. So yeah, that's always been.
Yeah, because it's so interesting because if you think about it, there's so many unconventional ways now to get into this industry. Before it was like TV, radio, and that's all you had to do. And you guys kind of built your own niche. And especially coming from the Inland Empire, like you have no idea how hard it was for me to even transition to LA area.
Yeah.
Because I didn't live here. I didn't know the culture. IE and LA are completely different worlds. Yeah. And I didn't grow up with radio, but I ended up with in radio because my commute wasn't that long. So for you guys to be, you know, spearheading like the podcast realm in the Inland Empire, I think that's really cool. Looking back, what's one of the things that your parents did that you swore you'd never do, but now you catch yourself doing as a child?
What my parents did, like
that you're like, yo no les voy a decir eso, no les voy a no voy a regañar, or
like es por tu bien. Like my kid still doesn't understand es por tu bien, but like I take him away from stuff. He's like, you know, he's a baby, and I'm like, es por tu bien, nomás, like, don't worry, es por tu... And I never thought I would be like the es por tu bien.
Oh, really?
Person, yeah. You remember there was a commercial back in the day, like es por tu bien, like now that's me, like I'm es por tu bien.
What's one of those things that he does that consistently that you're like, es por tu bien?
Like if I like let's say like I'm like eating something and like maybe it's not like meant for babies or something like that, and like he wants a little bit but then he wants the whole thing, and I'm like, no, es por tu bien, like you can't be eating this right now, but I'll give you like let's say ice cream or whatever. And now we have like there's like kid ice cream now, like baby friendly ice cream, but like if I was eating an ice cream or something, he was like,
did you know there was so many things you can't feed a child, like a toddler, like a baby?
Did you know you can't feed a baby honey until he's 1?
What?
I don't know why. Look it up. You can't feed a baby honey until he's 1. Like once he turns 1, you can feed him honey.
Really? Wow. Okay, that's like something I had no idea about.
No idea either.
Damn. Okay. Did you imagine like becoming a father in your 20s, or was that never in the picture?
That was never.
You're like, that's gonna be later in life.
That was never like in hindsight. I never thought I would be a dad.
Really? Like I have dreams sometimes that I'm like, I can't wait till I'm a dad. Obviously, I'm 33 now. You're how old?
27, barely. Yeah.
Okay, but still, like, became a dad at 25?
Yeah.
Like,
I like it. I enjoy it. I definitely scary, but yeah, I never envisioned me being a dad. It was not a thing in my peripheral at all. It was it just happened, and I was like, well, we're here now. We're gonna make the best out of it, and just started rolling with the punches.
What was your gut reaction when you got the news? Like, hey, you're gonna be a dad.
I got that news on the day after Valentine's Day at night.
Oh shoot!
And I was like, whoa! And so I just went to sleep. The next morning I woke up and I was like, what?
You got a text message, or did you get a
text message?
Like, I'm pregnant.
Yeah. And I was like, what? And I called her, and then she answered, and I was like, well, I don't know what to do. And then she hung up, and then I was like, and then I went to sleep, and I was like, well, we'll pick this up tomorrow.
No way.
And I woke up the next day, and I woke up like sick. Like I woke up throwing up because it hit me. As soon as I woke up, I was like, oh my God.
You got the morning sickness.
I was the one with the morning sickness.
Damn.
For like a week.
How was that process? Like, obviously you don't have to go into like your relationship with the baby mama, but were you trying to be as present as possible?
I did.
Okay.
I tried everything I could to be present. As much as that she let me, but it was just like we had already broken up, so it was like it is what it is. But yeah, I tried hard, you know, even like taking like little vitamins and like buy her extra clothes for like she was getting bigger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tried to be there. And then it came to a little part of like separation where we didn't talk or anything like that for maybe 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
And then right before like the baby shower happened, I showed up again. Mom invited me. I was like, yeah, you know, I want to be there. And then we went on to like she allowed me to be in the room when he was born. And then I remember this guy that I worked with, he told me, he was like, because I was scared. I was scared I was not going to be able to be present there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, whatever happens, he's like, if she doesn't let you in that room, he's like, you go to that hospital and you wait outside the hospital. He's like, you wait outside for your son to be born. I was like, that's what I was going to do. I was ready to do that. I was like, if it rains, it pours, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to wait there.
Oh, what was your initial reaction? Like you held, what's your child's name?
Elio.
You held Elio for the first time. Did you have to take off your shirt and whatnot?
Like put him on your chest.
Yeah.
At that point, like his mom was tired, so she was like taking a little nap, and I just had him, and that's when I kind of realized I was a dad.
Yeah.
It didn't hit me the whole 9 months, 10 months, whatever. None of that. Like I still didn't feel like a dad, but once I had him, I was like, whoa.
There's a whole saying, well, not a saying, but most fathers, and especially I think it's more mothers, they reflect on their whole life and everything that their parents told them, and they tend to call them and be like, I get it, like I understand. Did you have a realization moment like that with your parents? Like, oh, I get why you guys were overprotective or told me this and whatnot. Like until you have your child, you understand like that's the most precious thing that there is.
Yeah, I think not yet. I don't think I've understood that just yet, because I'm trying to break a lot of like things that I was told and stuff like that and like taught. But I'll probably like once my son gets a little older, he's being like a little, can I say?
Yeah, you can.
A little dickhead.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, damn, mom, like, how did you handle me when I was doing this? Because I don't know, you know. But right now, it's still like, okay.
Would it surprise you if your son is obviously right now they have a lot of energy, but then they start getting into adulthood, teenage years, where they have their own personality? Would it be a surprise if they're an introvert? Because you're such an extrovert. Would you be like, what the fuck?
No, he's an extrovert at heart.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he right now if we had him here, he'll be running around, talking to you, talking to him, walking around.
That's dope.
And yeah, he just loves people too. So I don't think so. I don't think I'll be having a.
If you had an introverted kid, would you be like, I want to refund?
If my kid wasn't funny, and if my kid was an introvert, I'd be like, I don't.
Take him back.
Well, what are we doing today? Playing video games in the house? All right.
Well, it's because it's true. Like one of my
have their opposites.
Yeah, no. So my cousin, real quick, he loves outside sports, fishing, nature, and he's such an extrovert. His kid, on the other hand, he grew up like extroverted and whatnot, but then he was like shy, just video games. I think once you start introducing video games and you just have like all the attention on the TV and the screen, then it becomes kind of their world. So when he was in his teenage years, he's like, I want him to play soccer. I want him to do this. And nothing helped their relationship. It was like kind of like broken. And he's like, I have to meet my son if I want a relationship with him halfway. So he started learning how to play Call of Duty. He started learning how to play Apex or whatever all this shit is. And now they're like the best of friends. So I'm like, damn.
Yeah, you got to meet them halfway.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's your kid. You know, you want to be part of you want to be present in whatever type of things they like to do.
What's one thing nobody warned you about fatherhood that rocked your world?
Oh, that babies can completely destroy diapers. And it doesn't matter where you are. They can just
like blow that shit
up. Yeah, this is like, that doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account or who you are. You're not ready for that to happen at a public place without being ready. Like I was at Target and I was getting some stuff and I started smelling something. I was like, oh, he pooped. And then some lady pointed at me and she's like, it's all over your hand. I was like, so then I just bought some diapers, bought some wipes and just cleaned it up.
Wait, like that shit literally just
everywhere. Yeah, it just came out of like his little onesie and everything. And I was like,
Helio.
Gross.
And at Target,
bro. Yeah. So that's one thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never really had babies around me growing up. My son's like the first baby in our family for like my youngest cousin. I think she's 19. No, she's 21.
Yeah. So you didn't have that.
No babies anywhere. Like I didn't even know how to carry a baby. Yeah, or change a diaper. None of that. I've literally learned as I went.
So did you like take YouTube classes or did your mom help you?
My mom kind of showed me a little bit. One of his tias also kind of showed me like how to clean a diaper too. His mom, of course, like they were like, come on, you need to figure this. And it took me like a couple of days. It's not that hard.
No, yeah.
Once you get over the getting poop in your hands part and
has he pissed on you? Like when you're just like changing his diaper and like, whoa. oh.
When he was younger, yeah.
Okay, no.
I was like, oh, what's going on? You're like, stop. I'm like grabbing a coat, trying to catch it. I'm like, what the heck? But yeah, no, now he's a little bit older, so now I kind of know when all that stuff is going.
So now that you have a son, obviously, how has your son changed, or has it changed your identity as a man, as a son, as a creative?
It's for sure changed my identity, like as a man, because like I said, I didn't know I wasn't planning having kids, so I was like single forever, do whatever I want, worry about just me. But now it's like when I want to do things that like kind of judge your character, now I think about how my son would judge my character if I did certain things.
Wow.
So it makes me take a step back and really just look at the whole like playing field. And honestly, like it made me mature a lot quicker. You know, like there's certain things that like now I think about, like I never thought about buying a house. Now that's on like now that's on like in my head. I'm like, dude, I'll always rap forever. Like I'll just move here, wherever I want to live. Like, you know, live my life crazy. But I'm like, no, he needs some place to like
stability. He can come home and feel like it's his home.
Right. Because I'd love to live like in like Long Beach, like in the high rises. But I'm like, that's not a kid friendly place to live in. You know, that's for me to live in if I wanted to.
Yeah. Now that you're like a dad, especially as a Latino dad, are there any cycles that you're trying to break?
Yeah, the big one. I talked about it on the first episode with Eric with Super Ego. I was like, that was like easy for me to tell my son I love you. Like I love you was easy, but telling him te amo was very difficult.
I have the same problem.
Te amo was really hard, but te amo is now easier for me.
Like even with my mom, like when I'm on the phone with her and I'm like, oh, I love you too, mijo. She says it back, but the te amo,
it's strong.
It's strong. Like it is definitely strong, and I feel like there's a stronger connotation when you translate things. Like obviously, I could say stupid in English, but
stupido, like, oh
yeah, like a stupido, like okay,
we're in a novela now.
I know things mean something.
Yeah. So like that's a big one. Like I'm trying to break like the whole like my family wasn't the most affectionate, but I want my son to be very affectionate, like to me and to his mom and stuff like that. Yeah. Like I personally feel weird reaching over like and giving my mom a hug and giving her a kiss on the cheek. Like to me, that just feels weird. Yeah. But I want my son to be able to do that to his mom. And like I feel like if he's able to do that, then I think I did a good job.
How about with your dad?
With my dad was también. It was like a hug, maybe for my birthday, a hug maybe for Christmas. It wasn't that he didn't love me. It was not. They didn't know how to show affection. But now with me and my son, like if you see me anywhere, I'm just like hugging him, kissing him, like.
Yeah, but now that you have a son, and obviously you want to see that, are you trying to normalize that within your own family? Like, how are you working as a son with that relationship with your dad so he sees it? You know, one thing is I want to do it with my son, but then how do you become that example for your son as well?
Oh, I see what you're trying to say. That's a little bit harder because, like I said, my like our family just kind of became a lot more distant in these past couple of years. So like I have to kind of wait for that to kind of return again. And one thing is with my sisters, because I noticed that they don't tell my son I love you, and I kind of want to start. I'm gonna kind of bring it up sooner or later. Like, hey, like when you guys leave, you should tell them like I love you or te quiero or te amo. I'm like it's okay because I feel like my sisters also grew up in the same environment that I did, so they don't know how to be like loving and affectionate.
And they're old, they're younger.
They're younger.
Okay,
they're younger. They love them. I know that they do, but I know that there's that little part that maybe they can show more affection, and it's a good thing.
Yeah,
you know.
How did Baby Daddy Poddy come into your life? Like, what made you say, we need a space for this?
It actually came into my life right when I was like when my son's mom was pregnant, because I was looking for like information and help and like what to do. Like I have a baby mama, like you know, I'm not in the stable relationship and all this, and I was looking up for like help. I would ask my friends, I'd ask people, and like no one was in my situation. So then I was like, well, then we need something like this. We need a type of platform where parents can come and share their perspectives and grow and develop new ideas to other parents that are watching. Yeah. Maybe it's new parents, maybe it's people who want to be parents, maybe it's parents that have been parents for a long time, but it's like a different perspective.
What's the biggest parenting tip that you got before you actually had Elio?
Biggest parenting tip that I got before having Elio.
And was it even a tip, or was it just like, you know, people just shamelessly like, mira, te voy a dar mi consejo si te sirve?
No, one lady, because we just got to talking, and she was like, whatever happens between you and his mom, she was like, just know that it's your son before anyone else. Like that was her tip. Like she was like, it's like the relationship over there doesn't work, it's okay. She was like, it's just as long as you focus your son, like your energy to your son, she's like, everything else will work okay. And I was like, huh, And that's like sometimes like it's hard to like think that way. You're like, no, I want like the whole family thing. But once I focus just my energy on my son and him being happy, like it's like his mom kind of sees that, and it's not like it works in my favor, but it doesn't work against me either.
Yeah.
You know? So just being present and being there was like the biggest tips I could have gotten.
And now as a parent, what is in this last year and a half? How old is he?
Year and 7 months. Yeah.
Year and 7 months. What tip would you give yourself before Elio was born? Because I could easily say like, hey, what tip would you give other parents? But I think once you have a child, it's very, every child is different. But if you could go back and give yourself a tip, like what would you tell Cesar from almost 2 years ago? Stop. Yes, this is a commercial, but it's for my product. My budget template, Echale tu Dinero. It's in English and it's in Spanish, and it's going to help you finally take control of your money. It costs less than a cup of coffee, and trust me, nobody's going to manage your money for you. You got to do it yourself, so invest in yourself. Dale, échale ganas, échale tu dinero. The link's in the description of this podcast, so don't say I never try to help you, because I'm literally trying to help you right now. All right, let's get back to the podcast.
When he found out that I was pregnant, or that we were pregnant, I think I'd tell him to just relax, to just let things just ride the wave and just relax. Don't put too much pressure, because at the end of the day, you can only do so much, and if you just let things flow, sometimes it tends to work out better.
Yeah.
And that's something like I wish someone would have told me, but no one was ever in my situation. If people are watching and they're having a baby mama, baby daddy issue and like all this, and they're trying to work things out, you just take a step back and just let it ride for a little bit. Everyone se calma toda la gente.
Yeah.
And you can just like pay attention to what's important.
So obviously Baby Daddy Poddy is still, you have pendejadas, you still laugh and want, but it's a lot more serious. Has it become almost therapeutic?
Yes. I leave every episode with something that I take away from each guest.
Yeah, because definitely when I started like this podcast, it was like, I work in radio, that's all shits and giggles, we laugh and whatnot, but I was like, I want people to like leave with something. I want people to learn something, and I want to be more vulnerable and raw. So it obviously has allowed me to have sort of like this therapy session sometimes with the guests when they allow it, obviously. What have been some of the like eye-opening conversations? I know you've had a couple episodes in, but
we'll go from the top with Super Ego. It got towards the end and we started talking about I think we started about religion, and he gave me like a what's it called, a verse
about Bible verse,
like loving and stuff like that, and I literally walked away with that.
Yeah.
And it was like, show up with love anywhere you go. And I was like, I never really thought about it that way, but like even if you show up to like the worst of places, but with love in you, then everything around you just seems a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the verse or anything like that, but he said it, and I was like, oh, like he's like, just show up with love, and I was like,
But just even that, like I saw that episode, and he was talking about like his anger issues that he had to work with before becoming a dad, and it was very beautiful to hear like another man, especially another Latino man, say like, everywhere you show up with love. What is something that you worked on yourself before Elio was born? Because I'm assuming that everything goes through your mind and you're like, okay, I want to be a good dad. But are there things that you internally had to work on, or you're still working on?
One thing that I'm still working on is like also like, I guess my anger issues in a way. Like,
why are all the funny people angry all the time?
We're always sad and angry. Okay, we can't be funny without that mix. But just like learning how to control like how my outbursts would be and stuff like that, or like getting upset or like things like that. Just understanding when to let go. Because I'm a person that likes to like know where everything is moving and shifting and controlling everything. But like with a baby, you can't do that. You gotta just let them do what they gotta do and see what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of my for sure things that I worked on. And then like also like for new parents, I think working on yourself like physically and mentally. Like physically, like going to work out, showing up every day at the gym, waking up early, like doing all that stuff for yourself is what sets you apart from like the parent that is always going to be around with his kids, or the parent that's going to be like on the lawn chair watching his kids play.
That's very smart. Have you ever had a moment with Elio that you're like, what do you want from me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Often. And it's just like nothing. Sometimes they just want to get picked up and just held.
Yeah.
And after that, it's just like, all right, we're cool.
So I just became a Nino, like a padrino to my best friend's kid. And he tells me, he's like, sometimes I'm like, what does this kid want from me? Like he's obviously barely going to start speaking because he's going to be 2 in November.
Okay.
So he's like, what do you need from me? Like, and he says that's probably like one of his most.
It's so hard and irritating. And sometimes you're just like, you're fed, you're clean, you're washed. You want water? What is it? What is it that you want? And sometimes they just get annoyed. They don't want anything. They just want to cry. You just gotta let them out right in.
All right,
It's just, you're gonna cry, then you're gonna cry.
So you were talking about Baby Daddy Poddy and these guests that it doesn't have to be like, it could be fathers, mothers, aspiring parents. How do you go about and choosing your guests? Like, let's say if we have a dad or that has something that they want to say, like how would they go about in reaching out, and what type of guests are you trying to look for?
So I don't really mind where they don't have to be from like the industry or anything like that. It's just, of course, the guests that I'm able to pull are from people I know from the industry itself. But like working parents, maybe parents that like are different like type of couples, like gay couples, biracial couples, like things like that, because it's different perspectives. It's just I really want to make it like a cult, like a mixing pot, I guess. Mixing pot of like just different types of parents. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm raising my son a lot differently than like a gay couple would be. Or I'm raising my son differently than another single dad would be. Things like that. And one way that I do reach out to my guests is I actually see how they treat their kids in a way, like social media, like how they show up to their kids and stuff like that. Because I don't want to like also bring like a parent that's just like not present in the kid's life, because then what are we gonna ask? Like, what do you like to party or whatever? Like, what do you like to do on the weekends? So yeah, I mean, it's really anything.
It's gonna be a therapy session for them. More than anything, it's gonna be like, fuck, I'm not there.
I'm like, damn, dude, my bad. So yeah, it's really anyone. Like, I want to bring like people, like parents in the fitness industry. Hopefully soon I'll have people like that, entrepreneurs.
That's dope.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that we probably already know from the industry that you'd be like, I wonder what their story is.
Yeah, because obviously everybody talks about their business, how they built it, where they're going, but nobody talks about like how hard it can be at home. So talk to me about that transition out of, I don't want to say out of, because you're forever a part of IE and Friends. Was that difficult? But then you also
it was hard because it felt like I was like my baby, like that was my baby too, like alongside with Saul, like we did it together. And it was like saying goodbye, but then it was like, I'm also like now I have a new baby to like create and develop, which feels so cool. Cause like for like a day or two, I was a little bummed out. I was like, what do my days look like now? It's weird. I don't have like a schedule to record or nothing like that. For like a month, I felt like I was like laid off, cause I wasn't doing anything. I just took the like whole month off, and then and after that I was like, oh no, now this is my new project. This is my solo baby now.
Did it give you FOMO? Like when you probably saw episodes and it was just them two?
So the thing is,
or you were always present just in the background?
For a little bit, they took a break as well. So then all of us didn't record together, and then Aaron's mom passed away. So unfortunately that happened, and so I went to fill in. So like it was like I left, but then I stayed. And it was really weird. But then after for like maybe 2 or 3 more weeks after that, I was like, okay, we're good here. And it does give me a little bit of FOMO when I see them having fun, and I'm like, I'm not there.
You're like, I'm having serious conversations.
So what does your kid like to do in his free time?
I know. What kind of feedback have you gotten? Because obviously your social media is which is Baby Daddy Poddy. Is that the Instagram?
Baby Daddy Poddy.
Yeah, so people can go ahead and follow it. But like it's been growing gradually. What has been the feedback from men or women? I assume maybe more women are listening because you're a man talking about kids, and women are like, oh my God.
No, I've gotten really good feedback. It's been like a lot of people are just fans from the past show, which some of them don't have kids. They're like, dude, I love this. Like, I don't even have kids, but it's actually entertaining. It's not something that I'm gonna flip it on because I need help as a parent. It's something that you flip on to entertain yourself and learn from other parents. But you're also like watching someone you like on YouTube talk about his kid. It's in a way, it's an entertainment.
You're like, I'm growing up with them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's been great feedback. Some people are like, oh, can you try this? Can you ask questions about this? Some people are like, can you try to like bring in this guest? And everyone's loving it. Everyone's like, this is such a cool idea. Like, why has no one done that? Why has no one done
nobody has a kid yet.
It's because people do it. There is other podcasts like surrounded about like parents and stuff like that, but I don't know how they're structured differently, so it just doesn't click with everyone.
How do you feel like representation like of Latinos is in this space? Do you still feel like there's a big gap? Because I see a lot of non-Latino couples have their own podcast, Latino moms talking about their kids. I don't really get to see a lot of Latino dads talking, or Latino couples talking about, relationship, kids in this podcasting world?
Yeah, I think it hasn't been tapped in yet. I like at all. I feel like as being like Latinos and stuff like that, we sometimes do put up like a certain wall. Especially with like their kids, or like we're not gonna talk about my kids during this interview. I'm sure people have told you, hey, we're not talking about this or that.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, you can get out.
And you're like, well, that's a big part of your life.
Yeah.
With me, it's like this is a show where we're gonna talk. Like it's like I'm telling you up front, we're talking about your kids. It's not like a if and or but. Like we're talking about your kids, and we're developing like each other and creating with each other. And yeah, I think it's a genre that hasn't been tapped in. I'm excited to kind of be in the forefront of it.
So why is it important for you to tell everybody how fatherhood really is? You've talked about like not wanting to sugarcoat like the process and whatnot. Is there something, I know you mentioned earlier that there are things that you wish you would have known or you would have told yourself, but why is it important not to sugarcoat fatherhood?
Because I mean, fatherhood's like the most raw experience you can have as a man, or as like, because like you if I sugarcoat stuff and then like you're living your day-to-day life and then things hit the fan and you're like, dude, why did no one tell me about all of this?
Yeah.
Why did no one tell me that, if you are not a present father, these are going to be the effects on your kid and things like that, and I feel like if you don't sugarcoat that, you're like, okay, like I need to double down. I need to become better. I need to do this.
Let's talk about gentle parenting versus the parenting that we got. Yeah. And what in like the spectrum, where do you lie? Because obviously we, and I'm assuming you did as well, had a type of Latino parents that were like, con la mirada, they would tell it
on you and stuff.
Yeah, fucking hit you with any. Yeah, vas a ver, cabrón.
My dad's favorite word was vas a dormir bien calientito.
Oh, fuck. That means like it's gonna sting.
Yeah, it's gonna. He's gonna cry for his crazy.
Yes.
¿Quieres orar?
Bro, I don't know. Te voy a dar una pinche razón. But like, no, my mom would literally hit me with anything that she could find because she was just so frustrated. Obviously, she had me when she was 21, 22. So she was young. So I feel like sometimes we forget that our parents had kids so young that they forgot to be kids and teenagers themselves. Because like me and my girlfriend were like, nah, if we have a kid right now, it's still teen pregnancy.
yeah, you're not ready. You're not ready.
Like we're still teen pregnancy, right? But and we're 33 and 31. But where do you lie in that spectrum? Like, but then there's these parents like they're literally having a tantrum.
You wanna go on timeout? Nah, like
okay, we listen and we don't judge.
Yeah, there's a really like fine line that I don't try to cross. Like I know parents that threaten their kids like, hey, if you don't get down, I'm gonna hit you. Or like the whole all that. I don't like doing that. I do a lot more redirection. So like let's say my son for a little bit was learning how to open doors and stuff, and he would cry if he couldn't open the door or anything like that. And he'd throw a big old temper tantrum. And at first I was just like picking him up, like no llores, blah blah. At some point I was like, okay, now let me see what happens if I just let him cry. And he would cry for a little bit and then he'd get up and then that was it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I would have actually gone at him and be like, hey, stop crying, like get up, like yelled at him or something, like he's 1.5. Number one, he doesn't even understand. He just hears loud voices and he looks at me and he sees me being angry.
Yeah.
And so like, but there sometimes is where you have to like give the bow, I guess you could say. But I don't think it's anytime soon with a baby. Like you gotta maybe 4, 5, 6.
Where you're like, just like, oh, it's like the discipline.
Where it's like like if you're doing like a berrinche, like I remember where like I did one berrinche in my life with my mom. Got smacked right in the store. We walked out, and that was it.
Y me dolió más a mí que a ti.
Cesar, ¿por qué estás haciendo esto?
Yeah.
So I think there's a fine line that you have to like work around, but I do feel like there is certain kids that need a little bit more stern hand than others.
I do agree.
There's some kids that are just bad little kids and like they won't sit down or anything like that. But then you also have to kind of see like we're a little bit older. We both went to school. We've all gone and known about like all these extra things that could be wrong with the baby or with the kid. So like if you're also like just getting upset and they're getting frustrated, maybe it's another reason. Maybe it's not that the kid's just bad. It's maybe ADHD or maybe like autistic or stuff like that. And if you're yelling at kids that have like those type of like symptoms or stuff, then you're just making things worse for yourself and for them.
What's one of the things that has been most expensive about being a father, except like the diapers, of course?
Except honestly, shout out to my mom's friend Ricardo. He bought most of the diapers I've been using.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I bought some, but like he supplied me with a lot of big boxes from Costco.
Okay, but when you say supply, Like, how much are we talking about? Like, I also like talking about money. Break it down to me. Like, how much are these boxes?
Like each box probably is like $55.
And how many diapers?
Like, so how many diapers does it come with? Like 9. It depends.
9? Nice.
It depends because as the baby gets bigger, the amount of diapers that come in the box become lesser. Because,
but does he use more?
Because he's using less.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Your kid's kind of understanding like pee, when to poo, when to pee, when to, like not when, but they don't just do it like random. Like a little baby, bro. Like you could poop one time, you put the diaper on, and he pooped again.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it happened to me one time. I was like, dude, really? I was like, all right, well, at least we're already here.
Yeah.
The most expensive thing I think it's my fault, but would be like what's it called? The chairs, like where they sit, like the car seats, because the really nice car seats, they make you buy one, and then they grow out of that one, and they make you buy another one, and then my son's gonna grow out of this one. I'm gonna have to buy another one. But shout out to Nuna for the second one. Those are expensive.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's gotta be the most expensive thing, other than like food. Like now that he's getting older, he's just eating food.
What one thing that I'm sure you'll talk about in Baby Daddy Poddy is childcare. Do you guys plan to do like childcare? Put him in a childcare, because obviously in this economy, everybody works.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's something that we have talked about and stuff like that, and it's something that's gonna happen. But for right now, her mom is like helping a lot, so
yes.
I do appreciate her a lot. And like once this thing blows up, like that's gonna be the first lady I'm gonna like hook up nice, because she's been helping us a ton.
Yeah.
And childcare, well, with me, I have a nanny sometimes that like if I have to do something with him and I need a little bit more care for it, like she comes with me and stuff like that. That's a little bit expensive, but
how much is a nanny?
It's like $75 an hour.
Oh shit!
But it's only in case of like emergency.
What would an emergency look like?
Coming here.
Oh,
and like if I didn't have a babysitter,
you should have.
She would have been here. Yeah, that would have been like something like that.
Damn it! I made him drive an hour. That's already the $75.
And I time it popped yesterday. Like no, but it's only for those type of emergencies, or like But I still like. I don't really like to leave my son.
Yeah.
Anywhere. But I'm sure like once he turns 3 or 4, I'm pretty sure his mom and I were gonna have to like decide like.
Yeah, because it's expensive, and I like, when I think about having kids, it's like factoring that into your monthly, and my best friend, they have a child, and they leave them at like Cal State San Bernardino, which is a university, so you have all these trained professionals, but at the same time it's relatively, I think I'd like to say, cheaper than when you leave them in another daycare, and it's still about like $2,000 a month.
Yeah,
and you're just
expensive.
Like, what the hell? Like, I'm paying college tuition on this child.
You're literally working to just pay that.
Yeah, but on the flip side, they do tell me like the amount of socializing, the amount of words, the amount of things that they teach him is astonishing. Like this, I think this means all done. This means more. This means
more.
Or yeah, something like
all
that.
Done.
Yeah, and you're using that too? Is that like a universal thing?
Yeah. It's because your kid picks up like it's like a. I feel bad, but it's kind of like when you train your dog.
No, yeah,
it understands your hand gestures first, and then they start doing them and stuff like that. Like one that I've been trying for a long time is like Buenos Dias.
Which is that one?
Buenos Dias.
Buenos Dias. Okay,
Dias.
Cool.
That.
Oh, and does he do it back to you?
No, not yet, but it's like it's almost there, because now he touches his heart, because everything good comes from the heart. That's how I learned it. Shout out to the YouTube channel that I saw that you said that. And then the Diaz.
All right. So what about, like, speaking of YouTube, obviously he's not watching the podcast yet. But
when I leave him babysitting, I'm like, you can hear my voice.
Yeah, exactly. No, but what about Miss Rachel, Miss Vale?
So with me, there's not even, I don't play TV in English. I only play TV in Spanish.
See, as Latino, like, child of immigrants, it's like, necesitan aprender español.
I don't even speak to him in English.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I don't think he really knows English. The only word he knows in English is ball. But I think it's because he loves the ball. Like his ball's his best friend here. But I think like his cousins and stuff, they're like, go get your ball. So he's like, ball. But ball for him is like going outside, ball. But I'm slowly like pelota. That's one that like I'm like pelota, balón. He's like ball. Damn, yeah, bro.
You're like, you're getting the Yo Sabo game.
Yeah, really. No, we had for a long time when he was a baby, I used to play Señorita Jasmine.
What the heck?
Señorita Jasmine. I think she has a little bit of videos on YouTube.
Okay.
But like he loved her.
Oh.
And it was like anytime we'd be like chilling or whatever, that would be just playing in the background. But My son, with me, he doesn't like to watch TV. Like
He's like, spend time with dad.
yeah, he likes to play around and stuff like that. Like I don't get catch a break when I'm with him. Like I try to put him down here so he can like just chill
Yeah.
5-10 minutes, and he's like, bro, let me down.
What's something about fatherhood that you're still trying to figure out?
What does he like to eat? That's so hard. Like I cook different foods, and some foods he'll like, some foods he's like nope, some foods he'll like just nibble, and yeah, that's.
What's been his favorite?
His favorite food is literally grilled chicken nuggets from either Chick-fil-A, like the grilled nuggets with like barbecue sauce. He
downs that.
He downs that. Anything with chicken he likes. Sushi, he's tried it. He just kind of eats away with it, but
he's like, nah.
I think when the seaweed's too like strong, he doesn't like it.
What was his, or has he already started like talking? And what words can he say? And what was his first one?
Dada was his first word.
Of course.
That day was. I'm gonna take you back. That was a funny day. So I picked him up from his mom's house. I put him in the back seat or whatever, and I'm driving. And maybe like not even a minute has passed, and I hear Dada, and I'm like, no way.
Like rewind.
Dada, and I text his mom like, did he just say Dada? She's like, shut up. But now he does like agua, gaje.
I like how you've already been trying to imitate.
Gaje, because his little finger does this little thing. He doesn't know uno, but he knows dos. That's all. Do uno. He goes dos.
Dos.
He goes Cesar. Says my name. He tries to say his mom's name, but it's a little bit harder. So he says Gaga, which is. It's almost there. What else? Nana.
And I realize that it's probably easier to say words with the tongue than with the lips. So obviously, like mom is with the lips. Dada, all you have to use your tongue.
Dada, yeah. Mom is like, I hear mama when he's hungry.
Okay.
Mama when he's getting annoyed or tired.
He's like, I'm their cell phone company.
Yeah, he's like, mom. He's like, mom. Yeah, what else do we have right now in the repertoire? That's about it right now. Uno, it's funny. I go, once I say this, I go, uno, he goes, dos. It's like, bro, no.
Not yet.
But it's because I count uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. So dos, I think it's just, he likes it.
If Elio listened to every episode of Baby Daddy Poddy in 15 years from now, what would you hope that he learned from you as a dad?
I hope he learns that I care enough to change a lot of things about myself to be a better dad for him. And I hope that when he has kids, he can kind of reach into that little back pocket of all of those videos and be like, oh, okay, my dad talked about this one day. It's a lot of lessons that in a way it's like a capsule of my life for him. Like I have a capsule of my life that he's going to see, which I'm kind of scared with. I've been friends for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, my dad was crazy. And then it's going to be like this whole new capsule of him just like, okay, my dad was able to, flip the switch. Because I feel like people don't know that they can like flip the switch right away.
Yeah.
And people are going to judge you like, oh, he's maybe like, he's doing it for like the views or whatever. But it's like, no, people can just literally change whenever they want to, if they want to.
Yeah. And if they have a reason.
Right.
And your reason is Elio, like your son.
Right.
If you and Elio could do a podcast right now, what would you want to talk to him about?
Well, I want to talk to him about how he feels about his mom and I just not being together. I feel like that's an interesting topic that he maybe would be able to dive in a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And, just really like educate me with, because I grew up with a household with like two parents. So for me, like growing up in a household where there's two parents, but they're separated, it's different. But his mom would be like, because I'd get upset and she'd be like, it's going to be okay. Like, he's going to grow up with two of everything. He's like, if we're never together, he's not going to know what it feels like to really have like that family structure.
Yeah.
So to him, it's going to be normal to have 2 birthdays, 2 Christmases, 2.
Are you okay with co-parenting or are you still coping with it?
I think I'm better now. I think now it's like, it's set in stone that like it's done, and now like it's just like I pick him up on my day, she picks him up, I bring her on her days, and that's about it. We don't really talk too often unless it's something actually important.
Yeah. And have you thought about, and not sure if you've gotten to that point when other people get involved in the sense that like you have a partner, she has a partner in the future?
Yeah.
Like how that dynamic might change.
I trust her. What's it called? Like her judgment. Like she has a partner now, and it's like I trust your judgment on this person. Like you figure it out. If you realize that it's not gonna be good for you or my son, like I trust that you're gonna step away with it. Now if I have to intervene, then it means that probably something happened.
Yeah.
And then that means I don't trust your judgment, and we're gonna have to talk about it, or even remove my son from that whole situation in its own, because it's not fair. Like I'm not saying it happens, but I have seen it like where like in like those type of families, like the stepdad or something is like a drunk or like screams and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, you're not that you're not gonna yell at my kid type of thing, but it's like my son doesn't grow up in that situation at my house. Why is he gonna develop all those things?
Yeah.
Why are you gonna send my son to the therapist if it's not, why am I gonna pay for that if it's not even my fault?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've come to a conclusion, like for me, I think I'll be single for a long time. I think I don't have like, yeah, I don't have like a want or a need to like, oh, I want a girlfriend or I daydream or want a wife or things like that. Like,
yeah,
I mean, the dating world for me will always be open and it's not hard, but right now it's like I want to focus on myself because focusing on myself is going to help my son in the future.
One of the things that I also like to talk about in this podcast is obviously like finance and money. In regards to parenting, how are you guys dividing your son's
money?
Or like bills, or is it like, hey, are you on childcare, or is child support? Sorry, so look at me, you're educating me.
So I am we're saying it's raw. So I am on child support just because like we never came to a conclusion as to how much money like I would send her, and I would send her more, and then child support came. They're like, you're gonna have to send that much. So I was like, okay, well, okay, that's fair enough. But like when it comes to like clothing and stuff like that, like I at least know that the money I send or that gets sent is always spent well with him. And I do appreciate that about her because you do see like these moms that like put their baby daddies on child support and like they're
expecting millions
or they're expecting millions or they're wasting it on themselves. And you see like the kid with some raggedy clothes, he's not fed, things like that. Like every time I pick up my son, he usually has new clothes on.
That's awesome.
Every week. Like I'm like, dude, I even tell him like, hey, stop spending your money. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But there is sometimes where like I'll show up with like extra clothes for him and I'll take her like, well, not her, but like him, like extra things or like toys and stuff like that. Like my house, this room's covered in toys at my house.
Yeah.
So like he takes a bunch of toys to her house.
Have you researched any investment opportunities for your son?
Like a Roth IRA?
Roth IRA, a 529 plan, custodial.
I don't know about those two, but I did open up a Roth IRA for him. So tax season when it comes, I don't claim them, but I mean, the tax season for me, like I have that, it's the extra money for me.
Yeah.
And I try to put away at least 500 right now, just so like we could start like up a little.
That's a good like going. Honestly, like I don't even have kids, but definitely something that every child should have at birth. You start building that generational wealth from a young age. Yeah. So I'm proud of you for doing that.
Like we even talked about like student loans and stuff like that, or even buying yourself your first car. Things that like when you get older, you're like, dude, I wish my parents helped me with like a lot of stuff like that. And it's not that they didn't want to, it's that they just couldn't.
Yeah, they
didn't know how. Yeah, there was no how. There was no one teaching you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I know a little bit. And I'm like, even if I put up a little bit of money, as much as I can, just slowly within 18 years with the compound interest, is gonna change his life. Even if it's just a little bit, even if it's like I bought my new car and I'm going to school and I don't have to worry about any bills.
So like just real quick for people who are listening, a 529 plan, the difference between a 529 plan and a Roth IRA, you can literally invest money in there. I think it's about like until $7,000 per year for that child. They won't be able to open it until retirement. A 529 plan, on the other hand, is if they do go to college, they can use that money at the age of 18 to pay for educational expenses. And if they don't go to college, they can, and there may be a fee to transfer the 529 plan to a Roth IRA. So
maybe switch. I might have to
look into to see which one benefits you, because at the end of the day, like I don't even know. Like YouTube is a whole university,
right? No, literally, I've learned everything off that thing.
Yeah. I'm not your financial advisor. You research it on your own.
If I'm in the dumps,
yeah, you're like, damn it, fuck it.
Yeah. 29 plan. I'll look into.
Yeah, I'll text it to you. But who is like an ultimate daddy mommy guest that you'd want to have?
Oh,
let's just put it out there, man.
Ultimate baby daddy mommy guest would have to be like Kevin Hart.
Oh, Short Kings.
Yeah, Kevin Hart or Jason Tatum, basketball player. Like, because we're kind of the same age. And like he has a son as well.
I was gonna be like, not you and Kevin Hart.
No, Kevin Hart and I are about the same height. So those two would be like my goals. For moms, I don't really. I'm not too sure. Like, because all moms are great.
Yeah.
Like you can't really pick and choose, But like dads, I feel like
it's really hard to find.
Really hard to find sometimes good dads.
That's true.
And we normalize being a good dad is not changing some kid's diaper. Like that's like. Or like taking them on a walk, like the amount of like moms that are like, oh my God,
Glamorize
you're
that.
by yourself. Like I'm at like a Nordstrom with my stroller or whatever, like doing my thing, and they're like, oh my God, you're here shopping for your son. I'm like, dude,
This is normal.
who's gonna shop for him if I don't?
Yeah.
Like, this is so normal.
That's so true. Like
Yeah.
they're romanticizing like a man actually doing something for their child, and you're just like, no, this is like an everyday
It's normal.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caesar, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast, Baby Daddy Poddy. Make sure to check them out. I'm going to put all the information in the bio. Anything else you want to say to all those fathers out there?
Just keep going, and if times get hard, just know that if you focus on your son and you focus on yourself, things will get better. And thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Like I'm so glad I'm here. I made it.
Oh yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Crazy,
Bro, like
the guests you've had on here is ridiculous. You know, like crazy guests.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But like, no, what I'm trying to get to is like where you, Caesar, where you and Saul have literally gotten the show. So like my respects to everybody in the Inland Empire, you three, the whole network that has been just putting in so much work and educating and growing up with the audience, because at the end of the day, you grew up with the audience. Like I remember, I was, I think like 28 when, how many years is IE and Friends? 4 or 5?
4 or 5, yeah.
Okay, so I was like 28, 29 when I watched it. And obviously in the beginning I was like, that's funny, but I don't relate. I don't relate. Like,
that was crazy times. I was early 22.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But now as like you guys have gotten older, your guys' interests obviously change. And you brought up a good point. Like we change, especially as people, if we want to change. And you decided to evolve for your son. Baby Daddy Poddy. Everybody go check it out.
Thank you. Go check out Baby Daddy Poddy. Thank you.
Awesome.
Shit.